I remember one time in my first year as a teacher in a classical school, the students had never been in a classical school before. I was teaching in literature class, I was teaching Shakespeare, and I mentioned the Elizabethan theater and the background, the context, the historical context. And one of my students said, "Mr. Kern, you can't do that." And I literally had no idea what she was talking about. When I say literally, I mean literally in the old-fashioned sense. I had no idea what she was talking about. And I said, "Can't do what?" And she said, "This is literature class." And I said, "Huh?" She said, "You're talking about history." "Yeah, you can't talk about history in literature class." And what I wondered was, who told her that?
Mm-hmm.
And I would wager that nobody ever said those words to her. What taught her that was the fact that she went to history class, opened a history book, and then closed it and left it behind.
Mm-hmm.
She was taught to think in a fragmented, broken way, which Christ doesn't do.
Mm-hmm.
Christ is the Logos. He is the unifying principle of all reality. And to teach children in the conventional mode is to teach them a functional, practical, formal lie that they absorb into their souls, no matter how good your arguments are for apologetics. If what you're doing day to day is telling them the opposite of what you're telling them by words, right? If the form of your instruction is contrary to the content of your instruction, then they are absorbing into their soul a lie about reality. And so children, they're not taught postmodernism by, they don't become postmodernists because they're convinced. They become postmodernists because formally they were taught postmodernism by the fragmented, broken up curriculum.